Hey, hello friends. Once again, it's my pleasure to be your host on this powerful series on liberty from addiction. If today is your first time of seeing me, my name is Sunday Adeniro, and I will encourage you to listen to my previous video where I did talk about the introduction to addiction, and I also share a bit of my experience in that video. All right, today we'll go straight up to the topic of the day, which is the manipulations of the mind that keep victim in the state of addiction. This topic is very important because this is where we'll be looking at the justification you give to yourself to continue to console you in that thing you are addicted to. And it's until we're able to really address some of these justifications, we will not be able to be on the same page to both see reasons why we should really pull out from what we are addicted to. All right, last week I talked about two of them, but I'm just going to start from the third one, and then I can mention few of them today. Then I'll be looking forward to some of the manipulations of the mind you would like me to talk about from the comment sections, and probably I can create a different episode to address them. Last week I talked about everyone does it, and secondly, I also talk about the blame game. I wish I have time to talk about the blame game more. You see, because I dwell so much on the blame game for long. And I know human being will find justification when we can shift the blame to somebody else. In fact, this blaming people mentality is part of the very old character of the fallen man. As soon as Adam fell, the first nature we found in him was fear. The second one was the blame game. Adam, who told you are naked? Have you eaten of the fruit I asked not to eat? Guess what Adam replied? The woman you gave to me. So we usually find that consolation if you can shift the blame to someone. So friends, in this situation that we are looking at, you really need to accept responsibility and be sincere with yourself. Stop the blame game and face this thing squarely. I don't want to dwell too much on that because we have a long way to go today. The third one I'll be starting with today is I am helpless. Friends, this is why I'm here. You are not actually helpless because there's a provision for you. This is how the Bible put it. Whoever the Son of God sets free can actually be free indeed. I understand why you resort into that mentality. You have tried a lot of things. You have tried to pull out many times and you continue to relapse. So now you just feel that, well, I think I'm helpless. But I'm here to actually tell you that there is a way out for you. And that's why I'm here. So let's follow through this series together, and indeed we'll find out that there is a way out. So wipe up that mentality, wipe it out from your mind that you are helpless, because if you do not, you will not be desperate enough to really want to press further to see to it that you are free indeed from what you are addicted to. The fourth one that I'll be talking about today is I am lonely. I am lonely is a mentality that I've heard from people, and I've had, I also have that experience that you can think of the fact that you are lonely as a justification to continue that thing you are addicted to. Maybe I should start by telling you on this point that that thing you call loneliness is actually a state of the mind. I've found some people that are in the midst of relatives and friends, and yet they have the mentality for loneliness, even though there are people around them. Why? Because there is this thing that they are that is yearning for attention from within their hearts. There is this voidness in their heart that they are looking for something to fill it up with. So, and meanwhile, there are people that are also all to themselves. An individual staying in a room all to himself, living alone, and yet he never have this mentality of loneliness because he's engaged with so many things. He's just filled up with so many activities. In fact, COVID-19 helps us to even understand this better, that someone can be in his room and yet be connected to so many businesses and projects and companies and just be engaged. So you need to understand that that thing you call loneliness is just working from your mind to lure you back to what you're addicted to. In fact, this is the conversation between Elisha and Gehazi. Gehazi was thinking that we are just two here. And Elisha said, hello, those that are actually with us are more than those that are with them. And when the eyes of Gehazi was open, he also find out that there is this chariot of fire of host of armies that actually surround them. So he realized that there are multitude that are actually with us. In fact, this is how the Bible put it in Hebrews chapter 12 from verse 1. It says, seeing that we have a cloud of witness that are watching us, and they are with us as we run the race. So friends, this thing called loneliness is just robbing you of your liberty from that thing you are addicted to. And may I even conclude in this point by saying this: the fact that you have that luxury of time to yourself should be an advantage. So you may think, oh, it's because I have all the time to myself. This is an opportunity many people have in the past, and they're able to use it to build capacity, either spiritually or mentally or in any other wise, because it's an advantage. A time will come, you will look for that period when you used to have all the time, and you will find them again, because it should be an advantage you should capitalize on to build capacity and see to it that you are more productive. All right, I need to stop there because of my time. I'm actually watching the time. The next one I want to talk about today is I'm going to do a little. I'm going to do a little is actually something I can really relate to it. You know, when you get to a point when you have tried so many, you have tried to stop, and you just want to console yourself by saying, well, I'm not going to go so full in that thing I'm addicted to, so I'm just going to do a little. For instance, if you have been taking 5 bottles of alcohol before, you want to say things like, well, I'm just going to take like 2 bottles. No, not even 2. I'm just going to take like half a bottle of an alcohol, you've been masturbating for maybe a long period of time, and this time you said, oh fine, I'm just going to masturbate for like 2 minutes. Or that pornography I used to watch for long, maybe I'm not going to watch pornography today. I'm just going to look at some nude pictures. Hello friends, you will continue to go back to that thing you're addicted to. I can tell you this categorically. Remember, I share with you the stages of addiction. We started by talking about the experimentation, followed by the regular use. That time you start using occasionally, followed by the dependency and the tolerance stage, and before you get to the full-blown out stage. So whatever stage you are, your flesh will keep pushing and seeing to it that you get to the full-blown out stage. You will not be comfortable at the 3 upper levels. I can tell you that categorically. In fact, this is how the Bible puts in Romans 6:16. We talked about it in the last video. Whoever you yield yourself to obey, Apostle Paul assures you that you will eventually become the slave of that thing. There is no two way about it. So you need to break out from that mentality that I'm just going to do a little, because eventually the little will not be enough for you. And you continue to frustrate your mind and frustrate yourself because it's not going to be enough for you. All right, the next one I'm going to be talking about, maybe I'm going to stop here or take one more if my time permit me, is, it's a bailout from stress, pain, and anxiety. Oh, goodness. Many a times there are people that I've been able to speak with. They say things like, well, I've stopped this thing I'm addicted to. Only when I am, when I'm stressed out, that I just give into a little bit of alcohol, or, just do some, masturbation and things like that. Goodness. You see, that thing you're addicted to will not solve the problem of your addiction, right? I mean, we don't solve that problem of your stress and your pain. In fact, it will break you apart the more. And I can tell you that sincerely, right? You see, what is expected of you is to fill up that space with something. I know this is something that happened to people that have actually break out from what they're addicted to. And the problem now is just when they are stressed out. So they needed something to just ease them out of that stress. So the solution is to look for something else that you can always use as a substitute, because initially you have been used to that thing you're addicted to as a bailout from stress and anxiety. So if you don't find out what else you can do to fill that empty space that addiction occupies, you will continue to go back to it whenever you are stressed out, or maybe depressed, or worried, or in pain, or having anxiety. This is how the Bible put it in Matthew chapter 12 from verse 43 to 45. This is Jesus speaking. If a demon spirit leaves a man, that addiction is as if it has left you, right? But then Jesus said he's going to be staying somewhere, waiting for the time when he will be coming back to check for 3 things. And the third one is most important. Listen to what those 3 things are. Number 1, if that heart is made clean. 2, if it is tidied up. And the third one, which is the most important to that demon, is if it is empty. And Jesus said he's going to find 7 other more demons that are worse than itself. And the later part of that guy will be worse than the former. So you can't afford to leave that your heart empty, because anytime you feel so worried and and pained, you may want to go back to what you're addicted to. So in my own case, this is what I found out, that there are powerful worship ministers that I can listen to whenever I'm stressed out, and sincerely, this is not theory now, it really worked for me. The likes of Nathaniel Bassey. At some point, long after then, I found out Dunsi Oyedepo and many of that other powerful, you talk about Victoria, what's her name now? Oriense or something. These people, when they sing and you listen to them, you feel this, my goodness, you feel this sensitization coming from your spirit, and it's transmitted to your soul, and it will bring that ease you are looking for. In fact, sometimes I don't even listen to them. I just listen to some strings. Wow. No song, just some strings playing. Goodness. I wish I can just, recommend some of this stuff for you. But that's not what I'm talking about today, because we will still be talking about how to overcome it. So these are just to sort out the point I'm talking about. And when they're just listening to those strings playing, this relief comes from my spirit to my soul. Then I found out that, I do not need that thing I'm addicted to as a bailout from stress. This is something else that really should actually fill up that space. In fact, this is how the Bible put it in Colossians chapter 3, verse 16. Like, let the word of the Lord dwell in you richly in all wisdom. So instead of you going through that thing you're addicted to as a bailout from stress, can you meditate on the word? Colossians 3 from verse 1 says, you set your affection on things that are above and not on things that are beneath. These are systems, these are provisions that have been made available to fill that thing, to fill up the space you put in that thing you're addicted to anytime you are stressed out. All right, should I pick one more because of my time? All right, let me just say this one more and then we'll round up for today. The final one I'll be talking about today because of my time, it is my life. It is none of anyone's business. Hello, friends. That thing you call your life is not your life. Somebody paid a price for that life, and his name is Jesus. In fact, he died for that life. So you can't continue to assume that that life is yours because it was paid for. But this is how the Bible put it, that you are bought with a price. You see, if you are the owner of that life, you wouldn't need to give account of that life. But guess what? For this particular life you're living, you will be held accountable for it. So it is not just your life. Imagine someone that is even, influencing other people with his character. Because human beings, we are just interconnected, and you think it's just your life. What about the people you are influencing negatively or positively, or whichever way you influence them? It shows to you that that thing you call your life is not actually yours. All right, I think I should stop here. I would have loved to also talk about, well, it is not actually a sin because grace has covered me, or probably because I did not hurt anyone, and many other manipulations of the life. But my time is really fast spent. Can I talk to some believers that use grace as a cover-up? Because I'm also a believer. You see, that thing called grace is not a license for you to continue in that sin. Friends, there is a teaching them dimension of grace. Titus chapter 2 from verse 11. The grace of God that brings salvation had appeared unto all men, teaching them to deny ungodliness. So that grace is not coming with a license. It's coming with a capacity to indoctrinate you to go away from ungodliness. And it was, I think it was in 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 9. The Bible explained to us that my grace is sufficient for you. Guess how? Because my strength is made available in your weakness. So that thing that is like a weakness for you, grace comes with a provision, with a capacity to actually overcome it. All right, I think I'm going to stop here, and let me give you a breakdown of what you should be expecting in the next 4 episodes. The next 2 episodes we'll be talking about the consequences of addiction, and in those 2 episodes, I'll be talking about the spiritual consequences of addiction, and we'll be having a doctor here on live studio with me, and she will be talking about the medical and the psychological effects of addiction, while I'll be talking about the spiritual effect. And in the final 2 episodes, I will also be talking about the spiritual provisions that have been made available to help you overcome addiction. And the same doctor will also be coming to join me live on this same studio, and she'll be helping us to look at the medical and the psychological provisions that are made available for your liberty. I think I should stop here for today. I'm so happy to have you on this program once again. Oh, stop before you go. In case you are wondering if there's any way you can support this program, as much as your finances is okay, your financial support is okay, but that's not actually the major support we really need. The major support we need, guess what, is that you help us to spread this video across your circle. There are people that this video will actually help. Even if you are not addicted to anything negative, you never can tell. That brother close to you, that sister close to you, this video can bless them. So spread the across to them and let them follow through to the end. Thank you once again for joining. It's my pleasure to host this program. Till we shall be meeting again and committing to God's end. Thank you and bye-bye.